Hello, hello, hello. It is me, your true heel phenom, SP3. We are live on YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter for True Heel Heat, New Japan Pro Wrestling Sakura Genesis 2021 Roundtable Review. And boy, oh boy, did New Japan make a decision today. So let's get into it. If you're watching on YouTube right now, give this video a thumbs up. Share this video on all your favorite social media platforms. Of course, if you are new to True Heel Heat, push the subscribe button. Of course, push the bell as well so you always get notified when we have these live streams. This is a part of our WrestleMania week lineup of live streams. And I am here with someone you don't usually see during WrestleMania week. He is our expert on New Japan Pro Wrestling, the one, the only, J News Japan. What's going on?
What's up? What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your good brother, J News, and we're here talking about Sakura Genesis 2021. As SP3 stated, New Japan made quite a decision today. We're going to get around to it. We're going to talk about the points, but we do have a special guest with us. SP3, please.
Of course, we got joining us a very talented, multi-dimensional individual. He's an artist, a writer for Fanside DDT, Bleacher Report, a Chicagoan. So he's like our stat king. He's doing work with Sportskeeda Wrestling as well. He's a very talented individual. Definitely go out and check out his biggest stars in wrestling article on Roman Reigns and Kenny Omega. Great work, I might just say, about him. First of all, the one, the only, joining us once again on the True Heel Heat YouTube channel, Phil Lindsey. Thank you so much for joining us, brother.
Can't do much better than that. That was a better introduction than I thought I was going to get. Really appreciate you.
I try my best. It's tough, but I like to set the bar high. Phil, you joined us on our True Heel Heat podcast before, but I know you are a man who's up at 4 a.m. in the morning with me watching New Japan. So I wanted you to join us as we talked about Sakura Genesis 2021. We want to hear from all of you guys in the live chat on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Give us your thoughts on New Japan Pro Wrestling Sakura Genesis 2021. Let us know what your match of the night was, your MVP, your LVP. You gave the show a thumbs up, a thumbs down, thumbs in the middle. But first of all, guys, we gotta talk about the main event of this show. It was Kota Ibushi defending the new IWGP World Heavyweight Championship against Will Ospreay, the winner of the New Japan Cup 2021. A lot of controversy heading into this match after the angle at the end of New Japan Cup with Ospreay laying out his girlfriend, Bea Priestley. Actually, before this show, at the Stardom show, Bea Priestley announced that she is leaving Stardom. So she is not just done with New Japan. She is done with Stardom. She is leaving Japan. So Ospreay out on his own versus Ibushi. Man, oh man, this was hard-hitting. A lot of great work. Ospreay focusing on the neck and the back of Ibushi. Ibushi targeting the injured shoulder of Ospreay from the New Japan Cup. This match went 30 minutes, over 30 minutes actually. Ospreay kicked out of the Kamigoye, which has honestly become a little bit of a trend in New Japan because Sanada has kicked out of it, Jay White, and now Ospreay. And then Ospreay responded, hit a series of big moves, a super kick, a V trigger, a hidden blade, and then he hit the Stormbreaker, just one Stormbreaker, and got the 1-2-3 to become the first ever Irish-born IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. We're going to talk about the post-match after I hear your thoughts on the actual match, guys. Phil, what was your thoughts on Ospreay versus Ibushi, and what would you give it as far as a star rating?
I thought the match itself was really good. The action in the match was great. I mean, the finish was brutal. I don't know if I really care for the outcome, but the finish itself, the hidden blade looked nasty. When he hit it with him, I thought he was going to pin him then, and then he immediately hit the Stormbreaker. I was like, oh man, is that it? And then he didn't kick out. I was like, oh. Okay. But like the match itself was great. every time Kota does this thing where he kind of takes a bunch of hits, like at one point he took all these step kicks to the face, and he just kind of like looked and he did his usual like no sell avatar state. Then he does it. It's terrifying every time he does it, and it just looked amazing. There were several things he did in this match that were amazing. The German he did over the rope looked awesome. So the match itself was great. Didn't quite care for the outcome. I guess we're not supposed to care for the outcome because the heel won. But I thought the match itself was really good. I give the match 4 stars.
That's a good one for a nice amp rating for that match. And yeah, you're definitely right. That German suplex, I just felt bad for Osprey's neck. I felt similar for Ibushi's neck on the Spanish Fly. I think right before the finish, like he just did it so fast, and it looked like Ibushi was folded in half. Like, yeah, excellent analysis on that match. Jay News, what was your thoughts on Ibushi versus Osprey, and what was your star rating, and what was your thoughts on the outcome?
Like I was stating to you before the stream even started, from a match quality standpoint, I'll give my star rating right away. I'm with Phil on this one. I gave this a solid 4 stars. Usually I'm a little bit more animated when it comes to certain things, but I'm not sure about this decision here, right? So the finish had Will Ospreay winning the championship. I, for one, have always been and probably forever will be a Will Ospreay guy. Fact of the matter is that, as Phil was saying off stream, Will is not seen very glowingly in the public spotlight right now. And do I come to his defense here? Look, he's been one of the best in-ring performers this side of Shawn Michaels for the last 3 years, right? And for him to have the opportunity now to become the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion is a good spot to be in. That I expect him to win? Hell to the no. Because before Will Ospreay, before I was an Osprey guy, I was a Kota Ibushi guy, and Kota Ibushi is one of my guys. I thought Ibushi was going to go on a year-long run. He was going to steamroll over everybody. He was probably going to win the 3rd G1 to create history, pick his own opponent, and go from there. That was my machination in my head. But now that they have Ospreay as champ, I think that with the decisions they've been making within the last since COVID, right? I feel like New Japan is geared towards more the controversy side of things than they are, the long term. Even though it might be obvious booking, but like we like to see how the story develops type of deal. You know what I'm saying? Here they're going for the let's smack people in the face. This guy just gave an ass cutter to his girlfriend. Let's make him beat God because a mere mortal man beat God. I don't know how to feel about this, man. I don't know how to feel about this at all. Like I said, the match was great, 4-star match. Ospreay and Ibushi can't give back. I feel like those are 2 guys that'll never have a bad match. They'll never have bad matches. We'll talk about it when we go through the show about the new addition to the United Empire and stuff like that. I thought that was good, to be honest. But like I said, we'll talk about that later. I don't know where Will goes from here, and I have no idea how long this reign's going to be, because it just seems like, and I hope it doesn't work out this way, but it seems like they're going the evil route again. Like they put the strap on Will, he'll defend it maybe once or twice, and then he'll lose it because Ibushi's got to have this strap. The money match for Wrestle Kingdom isn't Ospreay versus Omega. That's not the money match. That's not what we're trying to go for here. So, yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know. I love Will, but like I don't know about this. I don't know about this.
Want to thank everyone who's watching us stream right now on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. We got Alex Alberto G says Osprey versus Omega or Okada versus Omega 5 in 2021 for all the belts. I think our post-match is telling us the future of the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. As far as the actual match, I thought that this was a great match, a great way to close the show. Like Jay News said, the chemistry between Ibushi and Ospreay is undeniable. They've had nothing but great matches, whether it be in the G1, Wrestle Kingdom, or this one. I like the match a little bit more than you guys. I gave it 4 1/4, but kind of like what Phil said, for 30 minutes, this match felt fast. Like, it did not feel like when they made the 30-minute call before the Stormbreaker, I was like, this has been a 30-minute match. It felt like 15 minutes. Like, just the way these guys move and the story and being invested in what was going on, you wanted more from the match. And I think that's why, we rated around 4 1/4, because it could have went another 10 minutes and probably pushed the rating a little bit more. But as far as the result for Ospreay, I like Ospreay. I'm like Jay News. I am a fan of Ospreay. I said in 2019 he was head and shoulders the best professional wrestler in the ring in the world. 2021 we had the pandemic. 2020 we had the pandemic. 2021 he's been on a hell of a start to the year. 5 stars with Okada, 5 stars with Shingo in the New Japan Cup, 5 stars with Zack Sabre Jr., and then a great match here. So he's looking that he's setting the pace for Wrestler of the Year this year. But man, can Ibushi get a break? Like, this man wins his second G1. He loses the briefcase in his first defense against Jay White. He goes to Wrestle Kingdom with absolutely no momentum, has a 5-star classic against Naito, beats Naito for both titles, has a 5-star classic against Jay White, defends the title. He literally set the record for defenses, like in most defenses in minimal amount of time. He defended the title against Jay White, against Sonata, against El Desperado, against Naito. He defended the Intercontinental Championship. So that's 4 defenses in 3 months. I've never seen a New Japan IWGP heavyweight champion do that. So that probably should have been a sign that he was going to lose it so soon. But I wanted more. I wanted him to go on a longer run. Maybe not a year like Jay News, but at least 6 months. At least let him make it to Dominion. I just felt robbed of an Ibushi title run. And after making his win at Wrestle Kingdom feel so big, calling him a god, for him to lose just 3 months later, it kind of devalues the importance and how big Wrestle Kingdom felt. I don't know if you guys agree with that, but to me, it just felt like they robbed us of really establishing and solidifying Ibushi as on the level of Okada and Tanahashi. And it makes me feel like New Japan is not going to have anybody that's on the level of Okada and Tanahashi because of the way they treat their top stars, like a Naito, like an Ibushi. Switchblade hasn't really been treated like he probably should have. So hopefully they focus on Ospreay and they can make him elevated to that point. But like Phil said and addressed, he has a lot of controversy, a lot of bad stuff that he has done. But Phil, you explained it well to us before we went on camera. Please explain to the people watching what is the issue, why fans are against Ospreay, because I think you did it the best.
Okay, so Ospreay, of course, is a great wrestler. But of course, as we know as wrestling fans, a lot of the best wrestlers are kind of problematic. Like, I mean, you look at how good TJP is, kind of problematic. Austin Aries, problematic. Great wrestler. And I mean, you could point to several other great wrestlers like that. Ospreay's kind of in the same vein. I mean, I don't think it helps that he puts his foot in his mouth a lot on Twitter. He hasn't been doing it as often, but that's part of it. And I think a lot of stuff that came out about him during speaking out and the allegations that he possibly tried to get a woman blackballed for accusing someone of rape.
So Phil, quick thing about that, and you can continue, because I follow Ospreay on Instagram, and he put something up in his stories a couple of days ago, basically stating that he had a talk with the woman who came up with the allegations, and they were able to basically squash everything. She forgave him or whatever have you. Look, I'm the messenger here, guys. I'm the messenger. I'm just giving you the news that I read from his Instagram account. Basically, and the young lady in question is Sadie Gibbs. She was one of the first women who was signed to AEW. So basically, supposedly they hashed it out.
Wasn't that a separate thing? Because I know The Sadie Gibbs and the Pollyann thing are separate.
Okay, separate.
Okay,
my bad.
So, and I mean, I can believe that. He probably did talk to Sadie and hashed it out. He may have talked to Pollyann. I don't know. But I think the way that he's handled it hasn't been great. And I think that's why people are not, feeling the best about him. And I think trying to roll over that and just continue to push him and continue to put him on TV has bothered people. And, justifiably so. It's kind of like Riddle, like all the controversy around Matt Riddle, and you're still putting him on TV, and he's got a lawsuit against it. That's not gonna get some fans on your side. Yeah. Now, New Japan has done this interesting thing of trying to make him a heel because they know some people aren't feeling him at the moment. Some people do want to boo him, and hey, everything is fair game in the world of wrestling. Some people believe that, but I just think leaning into it and doing the eyes cutter on B was a very odd decision. And that didn't help matters. And then you immediately have him beat Kota this week and put the title on him. It's kind of like, what are we doing here? And again, Osprey's great. The match was great. I don't have a problem with him being IWGP champion on paper. But you make such a big deal of, merging the titles. You come out and you do this big production about how Kota is the first IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. You play this vignette and give the importance to it before the match, and then you have him lose. It kind of devalues the title right away. I don't know. It just felt like it was kind of premature to have Ospreay win, and I get it. When someone wins the New Japan Cup, you kind of have to give them that big win afterwards. I mean, we saw that with Evil. Once Evil won the New Japan Cup and he turned, you can't have him lose right away because it kind of delegitimizes his heel turn. And I get that. But it could have been a better way to do this. I mean, you basically had Ospreay beat him clean too. It's like, I don't know, man. It just felt like there was a better way to do this.
Absolutely agree with you. Like, it just felt off. And I think I said it to both of you guys before we went live here. Ibushi, like, Ospreay kicked out of the Kamigoye, and Ospreay hits one Stormbreaker and it's over. It just, who's the babyface? Is Ospreay the babyface? Because that seemed like a very babyface way to win the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. So yeah, it's just, I'm just not with their treatment of Ibushi most of all. That's my biggest myth on this decision. But we got a couple of people in the comments on Facebook. Benjamin Hayden saying, Big Dog Phil. Phil's got his fans in the live chat. We got Russell Scopes on YouTube saying, B Priestley to AEW. Well, she was fired from AEW during the whole speaking out movement. I know a lot of people said it was because of COVID, but it was kind of a mixture of those things, in my opinion. Her whole speaking out involvement with the Pollyanna situation with Will, and then also COVID with her being in Japan, and before that the UK. That's why AEW let her go. We got Russell Scopes also saying it's taking the belt off Kota, a direct shot at AEW, and the talk of Omega coming after the title. That is a good segue to talk about the post-match. What we saw after the match, Will Ospreay posing with the title with the United Empire. Jeff Cobb picked up Kota Ibushi and dropped him with the Tour of the Islands, seeming to tease a matchup between Cobb and Ibushi in the future. And then Will Ospreay challenged the one man that he has not avenged a loss against, and that is, of course, Kazuchika Okada. He wants revenge for Wrestle Kingdom, so he made his first challenge as IWGP World Heavyweight Champion against his former big brother. And before Okada could say anything, my man, the Dragon, Shingo Takagi, came out, took the mic away, and said, well, hold up. I beat Okada in the first round of the New Japan Cup. So if he's getting the title shot, I got to get my title shot first. So that made a whole bunch of sense to me. Shingo was awesome in this segment. He came off like the coolest guy in the room to me. And he made his challenge saying that he will get the first shot at Ospreay. And Ospreay confirmed saying that it's Shingo first, and then he's coming after Okada. And in my minds, I think these are the two main events for Wrestle Grand Slam on May 15th in Yokohama and May 29th in the Tokyo Dome. But Jay News, I think you have a different thought. What do you think that where these titles can happen?
Yeah, I feel like because they have Wrestling Dontaku before those two Grand Slam shows, they've got to have a main event for the Wrestling Dontaku show. So I feel like they're probably. I agree with you in the sense that they have to book matches for the two Grand Slam shows to get people in the seats, right? I don't disagree with that. So having those two matches on those two shows would be common sense. But what would be the main event at Wrestling Dontaku? Like, does Will take?
I got you. Tanahashi versus Switchblade for the never openweight title.
So we're talking about the elevation of the belt, right? Because that's the point of Tana having the gold. And making it the secondary title in the company. That's great. How they build towards that is going to take on whatever the next couple of weeks are going to be for the Road 2 shows, right?
Yeah.
So hopefully they're able to build on that, and people will become invested, because right now, their long-standing feud, the whole TTO shirt thing, and today with the finish of the match, it was the JTO because he made him tap, even though after the fact that they won the match or whatever. So, like, the story's there. I just wanted to feel like a big deal. And I was telling you before off camera, before Phil came on, that the show for Sakura Genesis felt like a B show. Like, it felt like Backlash for whatever reason. and that's never usually the case with Sakura Genesis. We'll get, there's always a big feel to all the PPVs, especially when it comes to New Japan and stuff like that. But this was such like a secondary show. I was like, this could have been a Road 2 show. You know what I'm saying? Or like, like they did with New Beginning. It could have been like an in-between show. All those main events that they had New Beginning for like 5 nights or whatever. It felt like one of those, because it was a whole bunch of tag matches and stuff like that. And then the nothing was defended independently outside of the World Heavyweight Championship. So, it just the show overall fell short for me. And as a fan of New Japan, it was just disappointing to have that feel. I like my fill of young lions. I got no young lions in this show.
Thank you. See, Phil, I was listening to J News. Don't get me wrong. I respect the brother, but this brother loves him some young lions. So I knew that was the real reason why he didn't enjoy the tag matches. He didn't get his young lion opener with Uemura and Tsuji. So he's upset.
I'm upset, man. I was like, I didn't see Gabe. I didn't see Yoda. I didn't see Uemura. I didn't see it. I was like, they were outside the ring the whole time. They hold it like the way they dragged Ibushi back to the locker room area. I was like, this right here, this visual and whatnot is just everything you needed to see. The man was basically folded up and beaten, and I was like, man, this just looks bad on all parts for Ibushi right now.
Yeah. Oof.
And at the end of the show, it's like you saw like you were talking about when Takagi came in there, cool as a cucumber, dropped some English on us, sounded really, really good and stuff like that. Okada didn't say a word. Mum's the word. That's gonna be Okada's new gimmick for the next month and a half, I think. Whatever. He's just not gonna say anything. And Ospreay wants revenge on Okada, and eventually he might get it, or maybe not. Who knows?
I don't know, because we had our comment that I showed you guys earlier with someone saying Ospreay versus Omega or Okada versus Omega 5. I think possibly Okada could beat Ospreay to set up Okada versus Omega, because Tony Khan has said he would love to promote the first ever US match between Okada and Omega. So where do you see the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship going next with these two matchups lined up with Shingo and Okada for Ospreay, Phil?
Man, it's tough to call, man, because I mean, this definitely changed everything, because of course we all came into this thinking Kota's gonna retain This is all leading to Kota versus Omega sometime down the line. Not only did Kota lose clean, but like you guys said, that tour of the islands was savage. Whew. And then basically after he folded this man up like that, he just basically picked him up and just slapped him around a little bit like, you're done. You're washed up. Get up out of here. It looked bad. It looked really bad for Ibushi. So I don't know. I don't know how do you salvage Ibushi from this. Like, I don't see how do you put him immediately back in the title picture. This seems like a journey back kind of thing. Mm-hmm. So I wouldn't be surprised if Shingo challenges and loses, and I wouldn't be surprised if this leads to like Okada versus Ospreay, because I think the thing with a lot of mainstream fans that don't understand Omega's greatness is they didn't get to see those Okada matches like we did, and they don't understand like what those matches did for wrestling during that time. So I think the hopes of getting an Okada versus Omega title match on U.S. television is huge, and I think if they could get that I think they wouldn't turn that down. I mean, don't get me wrong, Ibushi versus Omega would be huge too, but we're talking about getting Okada, possibly one of the greatest wrestlers of this generation, on U.S. television. You're not going to pass that up. There's already those rumors of him going to Impact and doing shows. So it's possible.
Whoa. Time out.
Yes, it is. It's a rumor. Yeah.
That's been a rumor.
Yeah.
That's a rumor of Okada returning to Impact. Yes, even after they bought the before.
I understand there's a different writing team in Impact now. There's different ownership and stuff like that. That company almost single-handedly destroyed that man's career.
Yeah.
With if I were him, I wouldn't touch Impact.
The rumor's out there. I don't know if it's true, but it's out there.
I've been all for this, because wouldn't it be awesome if he just came in and just washed everybody and became the Impact World Champion? Wouldn't that be?
Do that though? Would they do that?
FinJuice just won the Impact World Tag Team titles. FinJuice is not treated well. First of all, Gato don't care about tag team. I'm just gonna put that out there before we even get to the junior heavyweight tag team title match. But yeah, Gato don't care about tag team. So FinJuice is actually getting treated better in Impact than they are in New Japan. So I think Okada would be the same.
Yeah,
all right, man.
I will say, if this show was to tell us the future of the company is this new IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, and we don't need the Intercontinental belt anymore, then I think it failed, because I feel like the Intercontinental title was sorely missed on this pay-per-view. And it showed. I mean, it definitely showed that there needed to be more of a presence for the secondary title on this show. Mm-hmm. And if you want us to believe like the open weight title is the new secondary belt, there should have been a match for it on this card. And so, I don't know. I didn't agree with merging the titles. And this didn't make me feel any better about it. I don't know. As far as like the match that we're leading to, I mean, again, if you're trying to sell me on Okada versus Omega, give it to me. I'm ready. If this is all leading to Okada versus Omega at possibly like a cross-promotional show for US sometime this year, and that gets us to Omega versus Kota at Wrestle Kingdom, also sign me up. I don't know. There's so many possibilities here. And I mean, that is the great thing about this, that this opened the door for so many more possibilities, and this makes the road to whatever they're doing more unpredictable. But man, it just feels like they could have done better by Ibushi in the process.
Yeah. For sure.
Yeah, like I thought that I would be very happy when Ospreay won the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, and I'm kind of like in the middle. Like Phil, you just kind of told both sides of the story. Yeah, I'm happy someone new is on top. It opens up a lot of possibilities, but Ibushi, come on, Ibushi, why?
Yeah.
Chris G put it best. Kota is the neglected stepchild of New Japan Pro Wrestling. He gets all the shiny toys, but no actual love. That's the best way.
That's kind of Naito's place in the company because Kota just signed two years ago.
That's why I said neglected stepchild is a good one because he's always been a stepchild. He's really a DDT original. He's just he's an orphan that New Japan has basically brought on. So Naito is more like the middle child. The middle child of the family. The middle child never gets treated well. But Kota Ibushi is the stepchild. He's the adopted child of New Japan that they give toys to, but no actual love, it seems. But I have to ask you guys one more thing before we get into the rest of the card. Let's
get to it.
Yes, I'll get to it, but I want to hear your guys' thoughts on the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. We got your guys' thoughts on the new champion, but what are your thoughts on this new championship belt? J News.
Phil, I'm gonna let you go first, Phil.
Oh, okay.
Let's go.
So I will say this. I thought the belt looked better at the event. It looked better outside the pictures that they showed first. It looked better on like actual screen, but it still looks like a prop out of Sailor Moon. Like it still looks like he's gonna run out there and yell like Moon Prism Power activates. And it just like, I don't know, man. I don't think I would feel that way if we didn't come off possibly the best design for the IWGP title ever. And I mean, it doesn't look that bad. I think some people are kind of overreacting, but at the same time, it's coming off such a great belt. And I think it's also the fact that they're merging the belts as well. It's like, this is what we're getting.
It's like you're taking away two beautiful titles to give us one not so beautiful. It's kind of, I mean, yeah, I would say some people are overreacting, but nah, it's a downgrade. J News, you have the floor now.
I see a comment here by Alex Alberto G saying that the belt is better than the Blue Universal Championship. Alex Alberto G, you're smoking that dope.
I mean, it is,
but I mean, it is, but that doesn't make it that much better, though.
No, it's not better. It's not better at all. Listen. We've lived through some painful-looking belts throughout all the companies, and we lived through some of the most dynamic and prolific-looking belts in wrestling companies. This gentleman, for a piece of metal that is supposed to unify two of the best looking titles that were created within the last 15 to 20 years, they failed. I'm not going to go overboard here. I'm not going to go on one of those Stephen A soliloquies about how this looks like a freaking Divas Championship 3.0 or whatever the case is. No. Look, IWGP deserves more respect than that. The international World Grand Prix, as they call it, this fell short, and it fell short for real. I feel like Phil said, that the IWGP Heavyweight Championship, that belt was glorious. Like, that thing was a real heavyweight championship. What Will Ospreay is holding right now and what Kota Ibushi premiered about a week ago, I just I was reading that and I didn't know why people were saying it, but now I see it. It looks like it was. I said this about one of the belts that I had seen in recent years. It looks like a toy prop. It really, really does. For example, like the AEW Women's Championship. Like, can you take the actual belt? Can you take it seriously? Like, some of the women that hold it are larger than the actual strap itself. And it's like, how is this valued by a woman who's going to walk down to the ramp and make her entrance? It's like, there's the smallest thing on her. You should notice the championship on a person. And like go ahead. Phil.
I will say I am in the smaller fan base that likes this title belt. And I mean, shout out to our Full Metal champion, but It reminds me of like the old WWE smaller belt, like the pink one before they changed it to like the more prominent WWE Women's Championship belt to remember. And I remember, like, of course, people coming out and holding it to the side, kind of like that. Like, that's what I think of when I think of that belt. And like, I don't have a problem with it being small. I know that's, against some people because some people want it to be like this big, extravagant thing, but I'm fine with it.
I feel like, because I have so wrestling fandom for us is not necessarily out of the stratosphere, right? I have the IWGP Heavyweight Championship pin, right? That you get to buy from Pro Wrestling Tees and everything like that. Yeah. I'm not buying that pin for the thing that they just freaking premiered. It's an embarrassment.
Come on, man! You could put it right in the middle of your shirt, and
that ain't happening. That ain't happening.
And Moon Prism Power Activate, and jump right into your Sailor Moon transformation.
That ain't happening. That ain't happening. Where is the prestige? Where are the jewels? Where is the definitiveness of this champ? I don't feel it. I don't feel it. That's why I don't like it. I don't feel it. Forget the design. I'm not feeling the belt. At the end of the day, I feel like it doesn't represent what it's supposed to, right? The whole unification thing was such a big deal. Yeah. And then you present this, and it's like, whoa, what happened? Like, just walk around with the double straps for all I care at this point. You know what I'm saying? So that's really more my take on it.
I agree with Phil though too. The Intercontinental Championship, like I've been in the minority of fans that has been happy with them basically getting rid of the Intercontinental title because I felt it elevated the never openweight championship. Although I wasn't a big fan of them losing the lineage, I was okay because I felt like New Japan had a whole lot of belts and they needed to get rid of one, and I was okay with it. But in retrospect, now, the Intercontinental Championship is very needed. Like someone like Evil should have never been the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, but he would have been a great Intercontinental Champion in my opinion. Like you look at that in retrospect, it's like Intercontinental Championship should have stuck around. But we got to get into the rest of the show. Chris G is the last comment I want to highlight here. He says that the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship, it looks like someone bedazzled a Pokemon badge and stuck on some pleather. And then we got Lee Low Love on Twitter saying hello to you as well. But we got to get through the rest of the card. Do you have the stats for the attendance on this show, Jay News?
Let's take a gander here, as we usually do. Live from Tokyo, Ryogoku Sumo Hall, attendance was 4,484 New Japan Pro Wrestling fans in attendance. I think that's the largest attendance they've had all year. Things seem to be really
since Wrestle Kingdom. Since Wrestle
Kingdom. Things seem to be really picking up in Japan as a country. They seem to have COVID under control over there, outside of what is the shit show here in the United States of America. So we will go on. The first match of the night was a 6-way tag team match. We had members of Suzuki-gun, Dookie, Zack Sabre Jr., and Taichi, the Dangerous Tekkers, going up against members of the Bullet Club. We had Jado, Tonga Loa, and Tama Tonga, G-O-D. In this match went about 10 minutes and 10 seconds. The team of Suzuki-gun wins this match with Zack Sabre Jr. putting the European clutch on Tonga Loa. Yet again, like I stated earlier and stuff like that, a lot of these tag matches didn't move the needle for me. I know that the Dangerous Tekkers are probably gonna challenge for the IWGP Heavyweight Championships down the road. Who knows if it's going to be at Wrestling Dontaku? Who knows if it's going to be at one of the Grand Slam shows? At this point, they have so much. They have so many shows to fill, right? At this point in time, that I'm not sure where this is going to go necessarily. Doki's still looking for his one-on-one match versus Jado, and Jado's still refusing to give it to him. So they're still squaring off here to give this match a rating. I can't. It was just,
You didn't care that much.
I didn't really care much about it.
Understandable. I thought this match was fun. I liked Suzuki-gun playing baby faces. Like, there's just something about Taishi being a baby face that I just enjoy so much. And to see Zack Sabre Jr. out there kind of being a baby face. And it's been a while since I've seen Zack Sabre Jr. as a baby face, but the way he interacted with Taichi, he came off very likable. So I did enjoy this match. I gave it 2 3/4 stars. Phil, what about you?
Yeah, I think that's like a fair rating for it. Around like 2.5 stars or something like that. I enjoyed this match well enough. It was fun. I thought the actual finish of the match was the best thing about the match.
Yeah.
Zack Sabre doing the European clutch and throwing up the 2 sweet, totally trolling, fantastic stuff. Playing keep away with Taichi with the Iron Fist was also hilarious. That was one of the funnier things about the entire event, and just how legitimately upset he was that he couldn't get back Iron Hand. I thought that was great.
He was pouting. He was legit pouting.
He was legitimately upset. He didn't get to do that. Didn't get to snatch off his pants tonight. Wasn't a good night for Taichi. No. So all of that stuff was fun.
Yeah, I think the screaming match between Taichi and Tama Tonga from the apron of the ring was hilarious. Being that the chairman of the company was the one who actually took the Iron Fingers to the back was hilarious to me, because New Japan's executives have never been that involved on actual TV. So that was interesting, and that was fun as well. They are really slow burning this Jado versus Doki thing. I don't necessarily know why they're doing that.
I don't think they're slow burning it. I just think that they have no intentions of doing it.
They gotta put it somewhere.
But to be fair, and to give you a nice little segue, J News, at least they're not feuding over a stick.
Well, sir. Well, let me put this into perspective for you. Kenta has been one of those guys that can make inanimate objects, he personifies them. Those things become a part of his character, and he makes it so like either fun or uncomfortable to be linked to some of these things. The way they had to replace the suitcase, I think it was not once but twice and whatnot, when he had it before he went up against Moxley. Now he literally robbed Yoshihashi of his staff. That, by the way, Yoshihashi makes that staff by hand. By God, that man puts effort into that staff.
It looks like a curtain rod, J News. You're not gonna sell me on this. We got Scott Brumfield with a great question for us. Hey guys, just stumbled across y'all from my recommendations, enjoying the show. Any suggestions on where I should start to get into New Japan? Phil, if you had to tell him one event or match to start his New Japan experience with, what would it be?
Oh, that's tough. I would say Okada versus Omega 2. I think if you're going to pick any match to watch, that is the match to get you into New Japan wrestling. I think if you're a fan of the WWE stuff and you kind of don't understand what makes the Bullet Club, you go back to like that first match with Prince Devitt when he takes on the gimmick. That's also good stuff. Can't go wrong.
I like it a lot. J News, what would you tell him?
Oh man, shoot, bro. I go very far back with New Japan, but for recent year stuff, yeah, I would say if you want to start off like on a high, Okada versus Omega 1. Look it up.
Yeah.
Go see it. And then start from there, and then catch up for the last 3.5 years. So that'll be where I would say for stuff that's recent. If you want to really know the background and understand where all this faction warfare stuff started, all the stuff from like Phil said, watch the Devitt stuff when he formed the Bullet Club at first. Like if you guys feel like Finn Balor, the wrestler, is a little bit cheesy or the character is a little bit cheesy, or you might not understand where it's coming from, New Japan Pro Wrestling's Prince Devitt has everything you need and then some for what you need to know about why the international wrestling fan holds Devitt in such an esteem outside of his WWE stuff. So if you want to go back that far, you can. AJ Styles' short run in New Japan Wrestling was really good. You should always go back and watch that. So I won't go on and on and on.
My answer would be like the place that I started kind of really getting into New Japan Wrestle Kingdom 9. But I would tell him to start at Wrestle Kingdom 10 because you get the final New Japan match of AJ Styles against Shinsuke Nakamura and his final New Japan match. You get the in my eyes the real ending of the Tanahashi Okada feud at Wrestle Kingdom 10 with the big win for Okada. And then from there, the next night, watch Wrestle Kingdom 10 and then New Year's Dash. Because New Year's Dash has the best angle that's ever happened at New Year's Dash, and that's Omega and the Young Bucks turning on AJ Styles, kicking him out the Bullet Club, and starting the Elite. So those two events, you get a real great starting point for New Japan where you can watch and kind of go along with the journey. You get a starting point for the Elite and all AEW, and you get a starting point or an end-off point for AJ Styles, Shinsuke Nakamura, and the Good Brothers leaving New Japan and going into WWE. So I think Wrestle Kingdom 10 and New Year's Dash is the best place to start off. But great question by Scott there. So Jay News, take it away with our second match.
The second match of the night was a big slab 10-man tag team match. We have members of Chaos, Yoshihashi, Tomohiro Ishii, Hiroki Goto, Toru Yano, and Kazuchika Okada of Chaos versus members of the Bullet Club. We had Dick Togo, Taiji Ishimori, Yujiro Takahashi, Kenta, and Evil representing the Bullet Club. Making sure of this so I don't put my foot in my mouth. The Japanese contingent of the Bullet Club. This match went 11 minutes and 37 seconds. There was a lot of talk during English commentary about the never open weight 6-man tag team championships. Whatever combination of the Bullet Club members want to go up against the members of Chaos who currently hold the belts, which is Goto, Ishii, and Yoshihashi. That whatever contingent from Bullet Club can and will compete and challenge for those belts at some point in time. Obviously, I think Kenta will have to be one of those members of the Bullet Club team, being that, like we stated before, he has stolen the Yoshihashi staff. That staff, like Sid said, the staff looks like a curtain rod. The staff also reminds me of the staff that is carried by the main character in Naruto, which makes all the sense in the world with Yoshihashi's jacket when he wears into the ring. And you know what I'm saying at the end of the day. But that has all the elements of that real anime / wrestling fix for the fans there. Kenta making sweet love to the staff, treating it like a queen and a king, because he holds more value. He regards the staff as a more valuable tool than Yoshihashi ever has. So that was an element of the match. During English commentary as well, Taiji Shimuri was brought up as one of the main guys to be a part of the 6-man team for Bullet Club, being that he's the only junior. And at this point, I don't know where LP is at. I'm not sure if LP's injured. I forget. I'm sorry, guys.
I think he probably went back to the U.S.
Okay, so he's probably over on Strong for the time being and stuff like that. So they want to get Taiji Ishimori something to do. So Kenta, Taiji Ishimori, maybe throw Evil in there because Yujiro has lost every bit of luster that he ever had. Peter is yet not back, and I don't even know what to do with Tokyo Pimp without him being able to be a pimp at the end of the day. And Dick Togo, he's a heater at the end of the day. He is Evil's heater. Evil Dick is a term we use, and we will continue to use it as long as they are paired together. But Toru Yano
and Yano kicked the dick.
Yeah,
Dick.
yes, he did.
Kicking
Yes,
dick.
he
Like,
did.
come on, man. This guy's outrageous.
He beats Dick Togo, Yuri Kasumi here to get the win. The Chaos faction gets the win here. Just more building towards this never open weight 6-man tag team match. Yet again, one of those matches I can't necessarily give a rating to. It just felt like one of the regular house shows tag team matches. What were your thoughts on this match, SP3? How did you feel about this 10-man tag?
I thought it was okay. It was decent enough for what it was. I mean, I always enjoy Yano matches, and I always enjoy Yano comedy, and he had a blindfold. So if we get Dick Togo versus Yano in a blindfold match, I don't know if anybody else is here for it, but I'm here for it. I enjoy it.
When's the last time you saw a blindfold match?
I've never seen a blindfold match in New Japan, so that's why I want to see it there.
Because I'm gonna date myself real quick.
Yeah.
The last time I saw a blindfold match, Jake the Snake Roberts was still an active wrestler.
So you're talking about WrestleMania 7, Jake the Snake versus Rick Martel?
Yes.
I mean, I'm pretty sure Triple H did a blindfold match.
I think so. But that's the last time I remember seeing
Michaels was like a referee, I think, or something like that. Yeah. But this match I gave a 1.5 stars. Not too much to it, but Yano was entertaining. Phil?
Yeah, about 2 stars. This was a road to match for sure. One of those like filler multi-man matches thrown on a main card. Didn't really need to be here. I did laugh a lot throughout this match. There were a lot of entertaining aspects to the match. Unintentionally, I don't think Yano did it intentionally, but the nod of him beating a member of the Bullet Club by putting a bag over his head, like the iconic Devitt promo. You put the bag over his head, and then he pinned him. I thought that was hilarious. But other than that, wasn't too much to this. The after stuff of Kenta, who was slowly becoming the most interesting character out of like that Rose Gallery of Bullet Club members, having a tug of war with Yoshihashi, and then grabbing the staff and running out of there, hysterical.
Kenta does comedy so well.
Oh, well.
Like, he's
yes.
very underrated when it comes to his humor. Like he gets it on point all the time. We got Tronzilla in the YouTube comments talking to, I think, Scott here, saying they have free content on the Roku channel, but we got another great question here for you guys. I will go to Phil first. Who's next for Jon Moxley's US title?
That's an interesting question. Is that somebody from New Japan or just in general?
I think in general. We'll go with in general.
That's interesting. I kind of feel like somebody from Strong needs to win it because I feel like it needs to stay in the US, and I feel like it needs to be a fixture on New Japan Strong. I know they just brought that New Japan Strong title in, but I feel like the main title on that show should be the US title.
Yeah, I agree with you. They should push that as like the heavyweight championship for New Japan Strong, and then the Strong title can be the secondary title there. I agree.
Yeah. So, this is kind of my out of left field, dream possibility. I want my man ACH to win the title, man. And I want him to be the face of New Japan Strong.
Hey, that's another thing. I am here for that. Or I would love ACH to, I know he's in Strong right now, but I would love for him to go over to Japan. Him against El Desperado, him against Sho, him against Hiromu when he's healthy. Like, oh, come on. And by the way, Hiromu had a great promo at the start of this show. Hiromu is the best Japanese promo in the business because I don't know what he's saying, but I know the feelings he is trying to emote. Every single time he talks, he's just that talented. Just got to say that. But yes, J News, who's next for Moxley?
Man, that's tough. I think Phil brought up a good point about ACH there, to be quite honest. But because Jon Moxley is the kind of wrestler that he is, and I'm sticking with New Japan Strong here as well because he's been on plenty of episodes, give me my man Brody King. I want Brody King throwing down with Jon Moxley in a one-on-one. because that to me would just be a hell of a fight, to be honest.
It would be. It definitely would be. We got Tronzilla in the comments saying, I think Mox's next opponent is Zack Sabre Jr. That's who it was gonna be before the shutdown. A very good point. We even saw the angle to set up that match. So that is another good choice for the next opponent for Moxley. I will go over this next match. The next match was a 6-man tag team contest as the United Empire, Great-O-Khan, Jeff Cobb, and X would be versing Los Ingobernables de Japón, Tetsuya Naito, Sanada, and Shingo Takagi. This right here was the debut of the dreaded X for the United Empire, and it was none other than the rebranded former Toa Hanare. Now he is the Ultimate Weapon, Aaron Hanare, looking a lot like NWO 2000 era Masahiro Chono, in my opinion. He's got the glasses, he had the black gloves. His look was so much better than Toa Hanare. He looked like a new guy altogether. And Great-O-Khan, of course, with the great intro bringing him down. This match went about, I believe, it went about 10 minutes, 9 minutes and 52 seconds, with Jeff Cobb hitting the Tour of the Islands, and then Hanare following up with a Death Valley driver of sorts, mixed with like Ryback's finisher in a way. Yes, and Hanare got the pin on Sanada. So not only his first big win in New Japan, but he beats one of the up-and-coming stars of New Japan, Sanada. So I think this was a great re-debut for Hanare. The United Empire looked strong going into the main event. I gave this match 3 stars. I thought that this was decent. It was a short amount of time, but I felt like it was the right amount of time for what this match needed to be. Phil, what was your thoughts on this match and the re-debut of Hanare?
I thought Hanare looked fantastic. I didn't recognize him at first. And then once I recognized him, I was like, oh man, Osprey gentrified Hanare. How did that happen?
What a term to use.
So I was like, man. But he looked great. I thought he looked great in the match. This definitely was his showcase match. He looked fantastic throughout. He did this incredibly smooth Blue Thunder bomb at one point.
Yeah.
Incredible. The Tour of the Islands always looks great. So yeah, Cobb always gets this great torque on it. So once he pulled it off and then it went into the finish, that was a great finish in my opinion. In terms of pinning Sanada, if you want to talk about guys who have been misused by this company, Sanada's been totally misused.
Yes.
I feel like he should have been the guy to win the G1 or the New Japan Cup at some point. I don't know what they're doing with him. And that's, again, if you wanted somebody to carry the IWGP Intercontinental title, Sanada was your guy. I don't know why. To me, at Wrestle Kingdom, it should have been Sanada versus Evil for the IC title. That was the match.
Yeah.
And it just didn't happen. But, you can't go into fantasy booking too long. I thought this match in itself was good. I agree, 3 stars that's a good rating. It was a solid match. It did what it needed to do. It made the United Empire look like a good stable. And, I have to say that coming out of this, whether you like Ospreay or not, and whether you like the outcome or not, I thought the United Empire looked great throughout this entire pay-per-view.
Agreed.
This is like the strongest heel faction since like Switchblade first went to the Bullet Club. Like the United Empire really feel like a hot heel group in New Japan at the moment. Jay News, I know you're very happy with what Phil just said, because Phil, if you didn't know, Jay News is the captain of the Sanada fan club. He is like he's the president, the chief, and the general of the Sanada fan club. But what was your thoughts on this match here with the United Empire and LIJ and the re-debut of Hanare?
First, let me get this off my chest because I have to. I think that it is a travesty that Sanada was pinned here. I think that Toa Hanare getting the pin over Sanada is blasphemous. But at this point in time, putting on my common sense hat, understanding what they're trying to do with Aaron Hanare. First of all, can I say New Japan Pro Wrestling knows what to do with names here. Aaron is such a name that it easily annoys you, right? So at this point, no offense to any Aarons out there, but it's just putting it with him, it just made sense, making him a heel to coin a phrase. The United Empire right now in New Japan Pro Wrestling has true heel heat. And that, folks, is what it's all about. Yeah, no, the match was solid. It was a good, I agree with you both. It was a good, a solid 3-star match. That sequence where Toa Hanare did that sidewalk slam into the Blue Thunder Bomb, and then they kicked out, and then and Jeff Cobb was in there. Then it was some offense, and they threw it to Jeff Cobb, and then Jeff Cobb did the spin cycle suplex. It was insane, man. It was insane. Jeff Cobb. I'm gonna say this ahead of time, and I'll repeat it later or whatever. I think people are gonna understand where I'm going with this. I feel like Jeff Cobb is the MVP of the show.
Wow.
And that's more long term than it is short term and whatnot. And you guys will understand my reasoning later on. But yeah, man, he just does incredible shit. At the end of the day, like, how do you have that kind of power and range and body control? Like, it's insane what he's able to do with other guys, either his size, smaller, and even bigger at times. It's like, yo, Jeff Cobb is amazing to freaking watch. But Toa Hanare, Aaron Hanare, sorry, the repackaging, it was necessary, right? Because he raged after his losses in the New Japan Cup, and he flipped tables. He was supposed to be going back to New Zealand, and then, like Phil said, Will Ospreay gentrified his ass, and he was repackaged and sent back. And now he's wearing the long trunks and stuff like that. He's got a different moveset and all that, and he looks impressive. And the United Empire came out on top in this event. They're the faction to beat right now, man. And I feel like if they wanted to, they can definitely go after those never open weight 6-man belts, because now they have a 3-man team. They can definitely, now that I feel like Cobb and Okan have a better chemistry, they could definitely later on go after the heavyweight championship, the heavyweight tag team championships and stuff like that, or whatever the case is. So, you know, I don't know if they'll go the Undisputed Era route and be dripped in gold. I know that's the plan, but I don't know if it'll ever be accomplished per se. But the match was solid. Just to say the name, Los Ingobernables de Japón, Phil is absolutely correct. They've been dropping the ball on my boy Sonata for years now. He should have been Intercontinental Champion. Like, to have an Intercontinental Championship match between him and Evil at Wrestle Kingdom would have been awesome, or whatever. And that would have blown off the feud. Whoever would have won, it would have been whatever. But it's like, now it's like you have so many guys where you don't know where they're gonna go. You know, you don't know what you're gonna do with Evil. You don't know what you're gonna do with Sonata, or whatever the case is. And it's like, now that Ospreay won, you know that Ibushi has to work from under. But it's like, what's Ibushi's role going to be now, or whatever? And now you have Jay White and Tana going for the never overweight championship. Whoever loses from that match, where are they going to go? So it's like, it's a whole lot of stuff now that the Intercontinental Championship is not even in New Japan. So I have to say that, and then also Tetsuya Naito just kind of like floating around in Nowheresville right now. Like, that's just, it's playing sad, man. It's playing sad. And Shingo, right? So he came out at the end of the main event and he challenged. You know, he's in the mid to upper card and stuff. He'll probably have another match of the year contender whenever his match with Will Ospreay airs and stuff. But yeah, man, that's all I gotta say about that right now.
I totally agree with the Naito just being there, kind of, but it seems like they are positioning him to be the rival of Great Okan with the attack after the match. Okan nailed Naito's knee with the steel chair a couple of times, and it really feels like Great Okan. Like, at first, when they first introduced the United Empire, I was like, okay, Cobb is the future star. Great Khan is like an enforcer, and Will is the leader. Now it kind of seems like Jeff Cobb is like the enforcer, but Great Khan is not like the up and coming star. He's the mouthpiece.
Yeah,
he's the talker for the group. Well, it does work out because he does not need a mic to even talk loud and have 4,000 people in that building hear him, because he could just bellow that shit with no mic at all. But it's interesting. It's interesting dynamic, and it's going to be interesting to see where Hanare places. He might be the future star going into the United Empire now. But we got to move on to the fourth match of the night. It was a tag team match as the Bullet Club, Jay White and Bad Luck Fale versus Hiroshi Tanahashi and Satoru Kojima. Excuse me, I can't say his first name for shit. But this match was really about the Tanahashi and Switchblade rivalry. These two men, even from before the bell, having a battle over their abs. After the bell, they went back and forth. Jay White was hilarious during this match, repeatedly mocking the machine gun chops of Kojima. In the end, though, it was Kojima and Tanahashi teaming up on Bad Luck Fale. First, the cozy lariat dropping Fale, and then Tanahashi following up with the high fly foe for the win for Tanahashi and Kojima. After the match, Tanahashi then put Jay White in his Texas Cloverleaf, and now he is referring to it as the JTO, the J tap out, in mocking Jay White's finisher of the TTO, the Tanahashi tap out. This match was another really good matchup, in my opinion. I gave it 3.25 stars, actually. I just like Tanahashi. And in my opinion, Kojima has been like exceeding any and all expectations in 2021, regardless of if it's a tag team match, singles match. He has been entertaining and been producing quality in 2021. And you love to see it for one of the New Japan dads. So, Phil, what was your thoughts on this tag match?
I thought it was good. I think 3 stars is about solid. I mean, it was a solid match. It felt like, again, one of those matches where it's like a road to match that kind of didn't belong on this card. I almost would have preferred if they just gave us the Tana and Jay White match on this card.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really feel like, what do we need to continue to tease it for? We know that's the feud. I don't know. But the match itself was entertaining. I think, when you get Jay White and Tana in the ring, they have good chemistry together. Of course, they have the Wrestle Kingdom match. They have a story history together. All of this stuff worked well in this match. Again, Kojima was great in this match. But again, I didn't feel like we needed another multi-man match on this card. I feel like you could have just had the never open weight belt on the line here.
I agree. It would have made this card a lot stronger and gave us 3 title matches, 3 main matches for the card instead of just 2, and a lot of build up for future events, it seemed. Jay News, what was your thoughts on the match? First, I do want to say we got our good brother Romeo in the comments. He says, "Sups, fellas, didn't see the show, but the new belt just feels like a belt Osprey should carry around." I think we all know what he meant by that. Jay News.
Man, that's a damn low blow by Romeo. That's not even right.
It does kind of look like a Stardom belt. Like it looks like.
Hey, listen.
It does kind of look like a Stardom belt.
I love
That's
it.
exactly my point. That's my point. That's why I don't like the belt. It looked exactly like that damn Black Star belt that B. Priestley freaking carried around for damn near a year. Stardom. Oh man. Anyways, to get back to the match here, another useless tag team match on this card. I didn't care for this. I'm not going to care to give this a rating. We know it should have been Jay White versus Tana. That match should have been given to us. Jay White should have walked out the champ by this point, and then started getting new challengers because guys need stuff to do at the end of the day. And Tana needs his rest, to be quite honest. I've never been the biggest fan of Bad Luck Fale, but I understand as to why he is who he is and why he does what he does. And yeah, That's about all I got. That's all I got for the match.
Understandable, sir. It is fine. Yeah, I agree. I agree with both of you guys, though. I wish they would have had Switchblade versus Tanahashi on this card. We got on YouTube, Tronzilla says, I like how the Empire is color coordinated. Makes them feel like a cohesive unit. Yes, I love how Great Khan's hair matches his attire. He had black and green attire, and he has a nice little green part of his hair in a ponytail now since Yano cut his hair in the New Japan Cup. So love to see all of that. Love the color coordination. Next up was our semi-main event, the last match that we're going to cover here on this Roundtable review. Thank you, everyone. Continue to put your thoughts on the show in the live chat on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. Drop us a like, a heart emoji, a laugh emoji, an angry emoji if you don't like Will Ospreay as the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion on Facebook. Bunch of y'all are watching. Drop us an expression so we can get more engagement on this video. It goes out to more people due to that. Help us out, and we'll help you along by telling you the rest of the show. And our final match, we're covering IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles on the line as Roppongi 3K return. Yo makes his first match since tearing his ACL last June in his New Japan Cup match versus Bushi, and they're versus Suzuki-gun of the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion El Desperado and Yoshinobu Kanemaru. This match, I feel, outside of the main event, was the strongest match on the show. We got a lot of good tag team work from Roppongi 3K. We got Suzuki-gun being the dastardly heels that they always do very well at doing. Roppongi 3K hitting a lot of their famous hits in this match, going for the 3K, not really connecting with it. They kept trying to go for the spike shock arrow, and then finally they hit it. What they called the 3K? No. They called it like the strong X. The strong X.
Yeah.
An ode to Roppongi Vice and their old finisher with Rocky and Trent, and Sho and Yo become 5-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions. I thought this match was really strong, mostly down to Yo. Yo looked amazing. He got a lot. He brought a lot of mass on his body. He does not look like a junior heavyweight anymore. He looks like he is like one big meal away from joining that heavyweight division, but he did a great job of selling his knee. The heels did a great job of focusing in on the knee, and it became the story of the match. And you kind of rallied behind Roppongi 3K to win this one, which they did. So I really enjoyed this match. I gave it 3 3/4 stars. I thought a couple of more minutes, it would have hit that 4-star plateau, but I just honestly feel they need to combine the heavyweight and the junior heavyweight tag team titles, because Roppongi 3K feels like the most authentic tag team that can be the anchors of the entire division for New Japan. They produce good matches whenever they're out there, and I feel like they can do it against the heavyweights or the junior heavyweights. Jay News, what was your thoughts on Roppongi 3K versus Suzuki-gun for the IWGP Junior Tag Team titles?
So from a match standpoint, I gave this 3.5 stars. It was the strongest match outside of the match for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. It was good to see Yo back in the ring, showing his stuff. Like you said, SP, like, dude probably put on about another 15 pounds of muscle during his time off. Yo looks great. Sorry, I was reading the comment down there. The only thing that I would have to say is when the match started, and this is just gonna be me reading into stuff or whatever the case is, and my mind goes crazy at times. When Yo unveiled his gear, I was like, "Is this a heel turn waiting to happen?" That's what I thought when I initially viewed Yo just like take the jacket off, and I was like, "Oh shit, is Yo gonna turn on Sho?" Like, is that what we're gonna get right now? Because you know the story's there. He had all this time out. Sho had all this success while he was out and stuff like that, or whatever the case is. And now he wants to prove himself. Like, the story's built in or whatever. That's what I thought. Like when I saw him in the black or whatever. But like you said, great match. Yo was doing his thing, and it was great to see Roppongi 3K back together, putting out the hits, as you said. Despy now seems to have his eyes on Yo for a future shot at the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. I think that will be a tremendous match because El Desperado is the king of the junior heavyweights right now. He cannot do wrong in my eyes right now. And Yoshinobu Kanemaru, as always, the consummate professional, doing what he has to do. I thought that when he hit his finisher off the top rope DDT, I thought that was it. I was like, oh shit, they're gonna retain, and that was it. And then when Yo kicked out, I was like, oh, okay, this is different. Okay, all right, so we go get new champs. But yeah, them being 5-time IWGP Junior Heavyweight champions, just it solidifies them, right, as the tag team of that particular division. But I agree with you, SP, man. Like they gotta unify, like not gotta, but I think the thought process of unifying the heavyweight and the junior heavyweight tag team championships just makes sense. They don't have enough tag teams, so unifying the two divisions just makes most sense, and it gives the tag teams more work for shows and stuff to do. So I'll go on that.
Good points right there from J News. We got Alex Alberto G saying Jay White versus David Finlay rematch in the future is money. I agree with that. Clinton Smith said, so we went from a double champion to doing away with the double titles to having a double champion all over again. I don't there's no double champion. So,
yeah.
So, you know, Clinton, actually the only double champion was El Desperado, and then he lost his tag titles. So I don't know if you're a little confused there. But Phil, what was your thoughts?
Is he just talking about because Ospreay has the British heavyweight championship too?
Okay.
He's the double champion.
Okay, yeah, but yeah. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Good call there. Good call. But no, he's not a double champion because those are two different promotions.
Yeah.
It's Rev Pro and New Japan. He just has two titles. He's not a double champion. Phil, what was your thoughts on Roppongi 3K versus Suzuki-gun?
I was put off at first because this didn't look like Roppongi that we're used to. They didn't come out with Rocky. They didn't do like their big like Roppongi theme song. They did a different theme song coming out. Like they did Yo's theme song, right?
I don't know.
Something new.
That was a downgrade.
Yeah.
That was a downgrade.
Yeah, I was ready. I was ready to chant Roppongi when they came out, and we didn't get it. It was wild. I was like, okay, and then they came out and like they didn't have their usual gear, like it was the subdued gear. I was like,
dude,
our guys grew up. It almost felt like it was like they're not party guys anymore. They're a serious tag team. And I felt like the match was kind of the same way. They wrestled like a more grounded style. They didn't do like more of their flashy movesets. They did all of those moves, but it wasn't as much high flying as we're used to for them. Yeah. They stayed on the mat kind of most of the match. And I think that has just shown how much they've developed since they've become a team. Not just that, but just how much they've developed since they were young lions. I mean, when you just look at how much they developed from then to now, it's drastic. And that was the thing I noticed the most about this match. And it made me enjoy the match a little bit more just as fans of them. And I definitely was like, if they wanted to break these guys up, they could. They're both fantastic. I think that would be a mistake. They're the best tag team they have outside of GOD. But yeah, this match was really good. This match was everything it needed to be. I think 3.5 stars is about a good enough rating for it. Right finish. I thought it was the right time to put the titles back on them because they technically didn't lose them. So, so I was fine with it. I thought it was cool that Yo got the pin because he looked the best throughout this match, and this is definitely his comeback match. I thought it was great. As far as where do we go from now, they don't really have anybody to challenge for the titles other than Suzuki-gun again if they want. But there aren't any other like junior tag teams. I wouldn't be mad if they merged the titles. I think a match between them and GOD would be fantastic. I would be here for it. And they're big enough where they could do it. Like they are, like you guys said, they're essentially getting closer and closer to heavyweights. Like that's a big guy, and Yo is right there. Like they could wrestle heavyweight if they want. And I mean that puts them in line for other guys like that. You could put them against Finjuice. You can put them against Dangerous Takers. There's plenty of matches there that you can do. If you keep them a junior tag team, I don't know where, unless you're going to bring LP back and do like LP Taiji against them, which I don't know. You don't really want that match. You have better matches you could do with the heavyweights, in my opinion.
Yeah. And they've kind of done all the combination of matches with those three teams. Like we had had LP and Ishimori against Suzuki Gun. We just got Suzuki Gun versus Roppongi 3K. Roppongi 3K beat LP and Ishimori last year at Wrestle Kingdom. So it's like you've exhausted all of this, put the two divisions together, and now you have an actual full tag team division. It just makes sense.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. But yeah, I definitely think I agree with you guys. Outside of the main event, this was the second best match on the card. And it definitely got me excited for the main event after that. Again, the main event delivered, but the outcome was kind of a downer.
I totally understand. And I understand where Jay News is coming from, because we had Benno from Post Wrestling on True Hill Heat 119 on Saturday, and he even said he thought it was going to be like Strike Force at WrestleMania 5. We were going to have Yo turn on show in this match, but I knew that New Japan is not that creative when it comes to tag teams breaking up, and he has a junior tag team that is really, really solid. He's not going to break them up because he can't just automatically make that the junior heavyweight championship match. So he needs a tag team for now. So I knew he was going to keep Roppongi 3K together. So we got a couple more comments. Jackson says, "Sup, y'all? I'm new to this channel. I love New Japan and Stardom a lot." Then you're going to love this channel. We talk about New Japan a whole lot. We do roundtable reviews similar to this for the New Japan bigger shows. I hope Phil returns to us, because I already had to put his quote up on Twitter. Will Ospreay gentified Hanare. I think that is one of the best quotes we've heard on this channel. It's quite some time. I have to give it to you, Phil. Alex Alberto God versus Young Bucks is my dream tag match. You don't have to dream. Go and watch Fighting Spirit Unleashed from 2018 to watch, in my eyes, the Gorillas of Destiny's best match ever. That match with the Young Bucks, that was a great fucking match. I loved it. So we are done going through all the matches, Phil and Jay News. So we got to wrap things up. Match of the night, I think it's no real debate, is it? Is it the main event?
It's the main event.
It's the main event.
If I had a dream match right now and you want to put GOD against anybody, I want GOD versus Proud and Powerful. We've got to see that match. Like, that is the one to me that we haven't seen. We haven't seen them do any New Japan matches as LAX, as Proud and Powerful. That's the match.
I like that. I like that a lot. I honestly, my dream match for GOD right now is the Good Brothers, because I just think that that's the only way to motivate both of those teams, because both of those teams need to be motivated to really have good, strong matches. And I feel like just the original Bullet Club members of Carl Anderson and Tama Tonga on opposite sides with the two big guys, Tonga Loa and Luke Gallows, it would be an interesting dynamic. So that's my dream tag match. Since everybody's doing it, J News, what's your GOD dream tag match?
Oh, man. Just because I've never seen it, and I think that they're still the best tag team on the planet. GOD versus FTR. Why the hell not? Because FTR is the prime example of what tag team wrestling is and should be. No knock on the current AEW tag team champs, but FTR does the storytelling thing to a degree no one else does in the ring as a tag team, and they give you spots when they're necessary, you know. So, and then they're part of a larger group now and stuff like that, and they're heels at heart. So it just, you know, it's one of those things where who is going to be the bigger heel team? Is it going to be GOD or is it going to be FTR? And that's to me is a match that I want to see.
I like all three of our choices. So, Phil, who is your MVP for Sakura Genesis 2021?
I I kind of want to say Hanare. I think he had a really good repackaging here. I thought he looked the best in his match. I thought I thought everything they did with him was great. Yeah, I mean, you could make a strong case for Yo as well. He was clearly the better of the two in his match, but I'm gonna go with Hanare.
So we got one for Hanare, the newest member of the United Empire. J News, who you got as your MVP of the show?
I trickled on it earlier. I'm gonna get on it solid now. My MVP of the show is Jeff Cobb. The reason as to why I say that is because of the growth and character work that Jeff Cobb has done ever since entering the United Empire. To me, has been very, very good. I'm gonna put a pause on my thing here. J News, just say it. FTR is better than the Young Bucks. I agree. It's not a crazy take. Yeah, Romeo, you're right. You're absolutely right.
It depends on what you're saying, though. If you're saying are they a better tag team? I think they're a better tag team.
Yes,
but in terms of the impact that the Young Bucks have had,
no. Yeah, without
it's
question.
not even close.
Yeah, that's not even close. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, FTR is a better tag team. But back to Jeff Cobb. What he was able to do, right? Will Ospreay beat Ibushi? Jeff Cobb folded the man up and crippled him basically, and he couldn't even walk to the back, right? That's the enforcer of the group making quick work after a match of the former god, right?
Yeah.
And we're gonna get a match between them down the road. They already had a classic. They're probably gonna have more classics down the road. But I feel like it should be for something, right? Which is, to Phil's point and to your point, SP3, this is where the Intercontinental title would have come into play here.
Yeah.
Right? But I think Jeff and making the Tour of the Islands the finisher of all finishers. Like if you look at all the tag matches and everything in between, Jeff Cobb always wins with the Tour of the Islands. No one's kicking out of the Tour of the Islands. It's the strongest finisher in New Japan Pro Wrestling. and just the amount of violence he performs that move with now in comparison to before when he was a babyface, it's like there was a switch in it. It's the same move, but it's like now he's mean, now he's tough, now there's more impact. Now it's like he's gonna blast your face in or whatever the case is. So that appeal, like when he duffed Ibushi, when he was just grabbing his face and telling him you ain't shit, and get out of my ring. I was like, where is this coming from? I was like, why is he so mad?
It was very Batista-esque.
Yes.
It was very, very much Batista Enforcer-esque.
Very, very much so. But that's why I chose him to be my MVP. Because he's been strong for months now, and then to do what he did to Ibushi after that match was over, I was like, oh shit. They're pushing him from a character standpoint to another level now. So, to put him in the same stratosphere as God, you know what I'm saying? And be like, now they're going to be equals, right? Because God doesn't have the belts anymore. So this is going to be an interesting thing to see. What about you, SP3? Your MVP.
I'm going with co-MVPs here.
Okay.
I like Phil's honorable mention of Yo. I feel like Yo deserves some MVP cred. He came back looking jacked and was the MVP of that semi-main event matchup for the junior heavyweight tag team titles. 5-time junior heavyweight tag team champions. I did like how they pulled the WWE and didn't mention the tag team that have won those titles the most times of the Young Bucks. They mentioned Rocky has won it 7 times. They didn't mention the team that has won it more times than Roppongi 3K. You think you slick, New Japan. You think you slick. But Yo is my co-MVP. And of course, the other co-MVP, since neither one of you chose him, I kind of have to now. Will Ospreay is the co-MVP, the first ever British-born IWGP World Heavyweight Champion, and he was in the match of the night, so got to give it to Ospreay as well. Congratulations to him. LVP on the other end of the spectrum. LVP, Phil, I'm sorry, it is Tetsuya Naito. Tetsuya Naito was in one of the bigger matches of the night, and he was kind of just there. He's one of the top stars in all of New Japan, but Okada was in a tag match. He stood out. Tanahashi was in a tag match. He stood out. They focused on his feud. Naito was in that 6-man tag, and he was arguably probably the 4th or 5th most important person in that match, and that's just sad. So Naito is my LVP of Sakura Genesis. Phil, who's your LVP?
It's hard to argue with Naito because I just feel like leading him into a feud with Okan is a huge step down from where this man should be. You're not even feuding with the second best member of that stable. That's not good. So yeah, you're probably right. I think it is Naito. I didn't think he did anything in his match that looked that spectacular. It just felt like he was just there. And for a guy that was just at the top of the company, just defended the title at Wrestle Kingdom, this is not where he should be. And I mean, you could make the same case for Sonata, but Sonata looked great in his match. I don't think Sonata, and that's not to say that Naito wrestled poorly tonight. It just felt like he was just there. It just didn't feel like he added anything interesting to this show.
100%. He's usually in the running for MVP, so we got to call it out when he's on the other end of the spectrum. It's J News. Who you got?
LVP. I'm gonna kayfabe this a bit and stick to the storyline of the show, because it needs to be said. It needs to be said.
Don't you dare!
It needs to be said. It needs to be said, SP3. I'm sorry. I love him. He's my dog. But I'd be damned if I ever see Ibushi carried out again from a ring that way. That, to me, storyline, whatever. He left that ring a loser for real tonight.
Yeah.
And that was one of that was probably the thing I took away the most from the night, right? Great salesmanship from him, and the way they dragged him to the back with the young lions and everything in between. Where does he go from here? We understand as wrestling fans, as Marks, as whatever, we know he's going to come from with under. He's going to get back to the top, and he's probably going to get the belt in the future. We get that. But for tonight, for today, for Sakura Genesis 2021, Kota Ibushi is the LVP.
Yeah, but see, to give credit to SP's MVP, you have to credit the heel work the United Empire did here, because they made him look like a loser. It wasn't that he wrestled a poor match and he just got beaten mercilessly. The heels demolished him. And then on top of that, they did such a great job of getting the crowd to cheer for him again by basically standing over him and taunting him. Ospreay saying, yeah, when he wakes up, tell him I just beat God. Like, that was fantastic. All of that heel work they did was the best takeaway from that outcome. I didn't enjoy the outcome, but they did some phenomenal heel work.
Yeah. Like I said earlier in the show, this is the hottest heel group New Japan has had since Switchblade first made the move over to the Bullet Club. But the only time the United Empire or Will Ospreay wasn't a babyface, wasn't a heel, was when he decided to babyface himself by claiming to be an atheist, and the fans cheered. So I did enjoy that. I did enjoy that on Easter Sunday. Happy Easter to everyone. So yes, we come to a close. We gave our match of the night, our LVP, our MVP. Please let us know in the live chat or the comment section your choices for all of those. One last thing to do, gentlemen. We got to put our thumbs in the middle. And on 3, we are going to give a thumbs up or thumbs down for New Japan Pro Wrestling Sakura Genesis 2021. 1, 2, 3. We got 2 thumbs up and a thumbs in the middle from J News. J News, please explain your thumbs in the middle.
It's like I said before. This show felt like a backlash, man. It was a B show. And the end of the night from a story perspective, where it's going to lead for all the different participants in that match is great. But from an overall show perspective, like when you don't care about the first 3 matches or 4 matches, and that's not cool, man. It's not cool. It's not a thumbs up show when you get a 2 out of 6 matches or whatever. That's 30%. Like I ain't messing with that. So yeah, that's why that is the way that it is. Romeo is absolutely correct. Tell him I beat God will be an excellent T-shirt, but it has to be that folded version of Ibushi down, and we'll with the belt above to showcase.
Or Ospreay with the rest of the Empire wearing that pink robe. Like that, tell him I beat God. I think that's the perfect one. One last question in the live chat that I want to answer. Do you guys cover MLW? Yes, we do. Check out Dark Power with the Stat King. He covers AEW Dark, AEW Dark Elevation, and MLW Fusion. We are all about that, but we come to a close for our New Japan Pro Wrestling Sakura Genesis 2021 Roundtable Review. If you have enjoyed this video, drop us a like, a heart emoji, a laugh emoji, an angry emoji on Facebook. Drop us a like on YouTube and on Twitter. Leave your thoughts on the entire show in the comments section, Facebook, Twitter, or YouTube. And of course, if you haven't already, push that subscribe button, push the bell to stay notified for all the great content right here on True Hill Heat. Phil, I have to say, you are invited back whenever we talk about New Japan. After that quote, Will Ospreay gentified Hanare, please tell the people where they can find you on social media and all the great work you're doing, Phil.
Great. You can find me at PhilDL616. You can find my work at Bleacher Report. I just ranked every Raw Women's Championship champion so far. The title just turned 5 years old on Saturday. Wow. I'm kind of disappointed with where they are with the title right now, but I won't get too into that. I ranked every champion, and you can find that at Bleacher Report.
I am definitely going to go out my way to search for that and see where our current Raw Women's Champion, if you remember who it is, Asuka, to where she ranked on that list. Thank you, Phil, for joining us. Please go out of your way to follow Phil. Great content that he's producing. His articles are so well thought out, so insightful. And as you see, even on camera, this man brings the good and brings the great quotes. J News, tell them where they can find you on social media and everything you're doing right here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel.
So you can always catch me here on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. I am going to sit down and dedicate and reboot the New Japan Strong coverage this week as we're going into the New Japan Cup and the USA tournament to decide the New Japan Strong open weight champion. That should be a hell of a tournament. I'm going to begin that coverage this week as it starts on Friday. I will be covering the Road to Wrestling Dontaku shows as well to see as to where the storylines are developing here. So please stay tuned to that. We're live stream. This will probably go up. This will be on YouTube. So I got to make sure I say this because, it wouldn't be me if I don't say it at the end of the day. Make sure that you like, comment, and subscribe to the True Heel Heat YouTube channel. Thumbs up in the chat, for God's sakes.
You're a great man, J News, but if you thought we were going to get through this live stream without saying this, you got another thing coming.
Go ahead, bro.
Happy birthday! Happy birthday, J News. Yes, it is J News' birthday weekend. It's also actually Romeo's birthday weekend.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
And Romeo, it is the J News and Romeo Mania. Happy birthday to you, sir. Thank you so much for all the great work you do on the True Hill Heat YouTube channel. I don't think the True Heels on this channel would know as much about New Japan Pro Wrestling if it wasn't for you. So thank you so much for being a good friend and being a great contributor to the channel, sir.
Much appreciated, man. Much appreciated, brother. I mean, it's been a long road to get to where I'm at right now. So, but thankfully I'm feeling good, and shout out to the True Heel Nation, man. To be quite honest, because at the end of the day, without them, we wouldn't be where we're at. You know what I'm saying? So shout out to the True Heel Nation. Shout out to everybody who always engages and comments and likes the videos and stuff like that. Good comments, bad comments, trolls and etc. They're all needed and necessary for us to evolve and continue to grow.
And we got another birthday. WrestleScope's birthday is April 25th, and Romeo, of course, is in the comments. Team Aries.
Word.
And we have some breaking news. Tronzilla says New Japan Pro Wrestling just uploaded a message from Moxley, so we got to stay tuned for that. But you can follow me at True Heel SP3. You can follow True Heel Heat on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter at True Heel Heat. And of course, stay tuned for the rest of our WrestleMania week lineup. We got a all new finale, season 1 finale of True Rewind. It drops tomorrow. True Rewind episode 45, WrestleMania 12. We're going to be celebrating the 25 years since WrestleMania 12, giving you a review of the show. So stay tuned for that. Push the subscribe button, push the bell to stay notified. So for the great Phil Lindsey, thank you so much once again for joining us, good brother, and hope you join us again for a New Japan show.
For sure.
For the host of J News Japan, J News, happy birthday to you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate you.
It is me, your True Heel Phenom SP3. This has been our New Japan Pro Wrestling Sakura Genesis 2021 Roundtable Review. We are signing off until next time.